Hello, everybody. Hello, and welcome to the Ultimate Job Search and Career Podcast. I am Bill, the company's expert, and today we're going to be talking about changing careers. Now, I actually have a question that was sent in to me by Juan D. Rondon, if I'm saying that right. I'm sure I'm not. I almost always aren't, but I always ask anyway. And Juan says, "Hi, I lost my job due to the pandemic. I was an event assistant. Plus also moving from the city of Washington, D.C. to a small town in Delaware. I have over 20 years of experience in different industries, but mainly in customer service. I have an interview at the DMV as a motor vehicle assistant. Any tips? Thanks, Juan." Well, Juan, yes. Listen, you have several kind of factors going on here. Number one, you're moving cities. Number two, you are kind of changing careers. You claim that you have 20 years basically in customer service, and it sounds like you're getting a job in customer service, but that may not be strictly accurate. But here's the deal. If you're changing careers, the general rule is that you're going to be at a disadvantage when you go through a recruiter in a standard job interview situation, okay? Because the reason why they or the number one metric that recruiters use is years of experience. And the problem is, if you're changing careers or you're truly changing careers, you will not be able to say you have any years of experience in the role or in several of the constituent skills, okay? You won't have many years doing that. However, in your case, if you do have 20 years in customer service and you're getting a customer service type job, it may not strictly be a career change because you're still fulfilling the same role. You might be working in a different industry, but you are still in the same role. So that's going to count for something. That's going to be a big deal. Now, the best thing you can do, okay, is to prepare for this interview, is you can do some homework here. If you look at the requirements for the motor vehicle assistant job, the job that you're up for, okay, and presumably they have said we're looking for someone who has these requirements, or they may not be requirements strict in the strictest sense, but they are nice to have, okay? What you can do is you can come prepared to that interview, and you are prepared with, first of all, being able to tie every single one of those requirements to experiences you've had in the past, okay? So that might involve a little bit of adaptation, okay? Because, for example, if they require, say, 5 years in being able to put in insurance claims, something like that, let's say you don't actually strictly have that, but perhaps maybe one of your ancillary roles in a previous job was filling out warranty claims, okay? So a lot of that, a lot of the actual activities involved in that does overlap. So if they ask you in the job interview, do you have any experience filling in insurance claims? Instead of saying, no, I don't have any, you could say something along the lines of, well, I actually do have 5 years experience, or however much you have, filling in warranty claims, which is actually practically identical to insurance claims. The risk factors are the same. The being able to complete forms and file it is the same. The ability to, different aspects of that work is the same. And you accentuate the fact that it's the same. And the whole purpose of saying this is to form in the mind of the recruiter the opinion that that requirement is not going to be a problem for you. If they were to hire you and put you into that job, the whole aspect of filling in warranty claims is not going to be an issue for you. You know what you're doing. Okay? That's basically the conclusion you want them to form in their mind. Okay? So, number one, you're going to be doing some preparation and adapting all your previous experiences to the current requirements of the job. So when they ask you about the current requirements, you will have answers ready. You will never have to say, no, I don't have any experience with that. Okay, because that can prove fatal if you were to say that for any one of those requirements. You should be able to speak to it at least partially. Okay. Secondly, the other thing you can do in terms of preparation for this interview is when it comes to behavioral type questions, okay? Questions where they ask you, tell me about a time that you had to do this, or you were faced with this situation, or you found yourself, having to do this. Those type of questions, instead of only having questions, only having answers that tell stories that really have nothing to do with your new role, you're going to have to come up with some stories that could be applicable to someone in the role that you're up for. Okay? So try to think of more universal type examples. Like, for example, dealing with a uncooperative coworker, dealing with an awkward customer, things like this. Okay? And the specific stories or specific examples you give should be something that can relate to the new role of motor vehicle assistant at the DMV. Okay? So if you do your homework in those two areas and you come prepared for the interview, you should be able to give favorable answers, and they won't be left with the opinion that you just don't have enough experience or you just don't have enough qualification in all those areas that they've stated they were looking for. Okay? So that would be the biggest thing. Now, hopefully, you should be able to get away with landing this job through standard channels. That means you don't have any networking connections to the employer or the interviewer. You're just coming in cold as an applicant that they don't know, but you pass the interview process. Okay? You should be able to do it that way. If you've done several of these and it just hasn't worked, what is generally the way people get jobs if they are changing careers is through networking. Okay? Trying to get a job through standard channels, if it is legitimately a different career, that tends to be a very hard challenge. But it can be done, and a lot of people do it, but they get the job by networking. They contact the employer, they contact the hiring manager, they contact the interviewer proactively ahead of time. And they say, look, I have great skills in this area. I'm trying to make a career move towards this. And I have a lot of skills and I'd be able to do this really well. So if ever you're looking, please consider me. And what you're doing is you're getting hired on the basis of how professional you are and your communication skills and how easy you are to deal with. That's the reason they would give you the interview. Unlike standard channels where they give you the interview because of your resume or your job application. Okay, so if that's of any interest to you, check out how to get a job through networking. Okay, that's usually how people land jobs in a different career. I have more information on my channel. I also have a course that talks about this. It's called Get Hired, link in description. But that's the area where you want to focus. If standard channels, they're just giving you a hard time and they honestly think that you don't have the experience. So hopefully that helps. Thanks very much. Thanks to everybody. You guys are awesome. And I hope to see you or hear you or have you check out future episodes of the Ultimate Job Search and Career Podcast. Take care.